coming and taking the time out to join us.
Yes,
I'm
thank you so
excited.
much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, where do we start?
Mm.
Well, my name is Akua Robinson. I am a makeup artist and beauty educator based in Washington, D.C. I've been doing makeup for 8 years now, almost 9 years, and it's crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been that long at all. But yeah, I don't know where to start. As far as my background, I definitely didn't grow up with makeup being a thing.
Mm,
Um, I went to all African centered private schools growing up until the age that I transitioned into high school, and I went to public school. So going to those schools, we could wear makeup, nails, hair had to be natural, traditional African clothes every day. But once I went to high school, I got a chance to kind of start playing around with makeup and everything, and hair was still natural. My hair has always been natural, but I would say around the age where I had to go to college,
Mm.
that's when my interest started to grow a little bit more because I didn't even want to go to college. I wanted to go to cosmetology school
mm,
and be a hairstylist, have my own salon. Like that was the plan. But everyone advised me to have my backup plan, which was a degree, because I was 17 when I graduated from high school. So I didn't
wow.
really have much of a say in like anything. I wasn't a legal adult yet. So I still went to college. I got an IT degree, but I literally have never worked in my field because I graduated like right in the thick of the recession. So people are
Mm,
always surprised when I say I have an IT degree that I've never used, but it still helps me, with my business now. But just, I guess, throughout the years of working for other people, getting fired from jobs or laid off and then getting hired again, it got to a point where I didn't like my livelihood being in someone else's hands. So I really
right.
had to start thinking about like, what can I do that I like? Because I hate working for people in the traditional sense. I was like, what do I like to do that I can make money from? And I was really heavy on YouTube, like a lot of makeup artists were at that time. So I was like, I'm going to try makeup. So I just went for it. I attended Bennett Career Institute. I just landed there because I'm always the type of person that feels like I need somebody to teach me how to do something. Like if
Mm.
you teach me how to do something, I can more than likely like take it from there. So I decided to enroll in cosmetology school or the makeup course at the cosmetology school and finished there and just started telling everybody I was a makeup artist. And then the rest is like history now. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
So, who has been your greatest inspiration and why?
Ooh, as far as like life or like in the industry.
I would say if you want to share for both, life
Mm.
first and then the industry second.
I guess my biggest inspiration in life is my mom because I
Mm,
grew up with us in a single parent household. And when you're younger, you really don't realize all the sacrifices or all the things that go into developing a human as awesome as I am. So when you look back at it, and I really look back and just realize some of the sacrifices my mom has made for myself and my sister, I'm like, wow, she is like superwoman. Like
mm,
she made a lot happen with a little bit. So she's definitely like a big inspiration in my life. As far as in the industry, my biggest inspiration is a makeup artist named Danessa Myricks. Another African American woman. She has locks. She's
mm,
thick. She just owns like who she is, and her artistry is amazing. She does photography as well, and she has her own black-owned beauty brand that
Mm.
is amazing. So she's a huge, huge inspiration to me because she's just resilient. I've seen how her business has grown over the years of me knowing her and transition into what she is now. Like she's a force to be reckoned with. So just being able to, work with her and then see her growth too, it really gives me a lot of inspiration for where I can potentially achieve as well. So
that's wonderful.
Tell us about your Friends in Beauty podcast. What can we look forward to?
oh my gosh. So I've been having a lot of fun doing the Friends and Beauty podcast. That's one way that my IT degree has come in to play because I edit my
Nice.
episodes and I enjoy that. But with the podcast, I started the podcast because I was doing Friends and Beauty speed networking events. I started in 2019 and I had a plan to do this whole 2020 tour. I was going to go to all these different cities because I was just doing it in DC at the time.
Mm.
Then COVID happened. So I started the podcast. I wanted to do a podcast anyway, but I started it so that I could keep the momentum going with the name Friends and Beauty
Yes.
without doing the events so people wouldn't kind of forget about it. But on the podcast, I alternate between solo episodes and interview episodes. So every Wednesday, I release an episode, and it's just a behind the scenes look on like not beauty tips, business tips for like beauty industry creatives. And then I also interview different people in the industry just to get their insight on what it really takes to have longevity and success, and like for them to share like different business tools and things that have helped them along the way. So I've been having a good time with the podcast.
That's lovely. So would you say, are you more of, or both, an entrepreneur and a makeup artist? Because it seems like you're a makeup artist, but you also have a podcast. I'm sure you have other projects that are happening.
Yeah.
So just give us an idea of like how you would describe yourself.
Yeah, I like to say beautypreneur. So I'm definitely in the beauty industry, and I'm also an entrepreneur too. I work for myself 100% right now.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I've been full time for a very probably like the majority of my my career as a makeup artist, because once I figured out I was making more money at one point that I was making every week at the job I was at the time, I was like, I'm out of here. Like I wanted to see what happens. So definitely a beautypreneur.
So you were saying something about YouTube, and earlier, do you dabble in that field as well with your own makeup artistry?
I have not gone as far as YouTube for like the traditional sense of like doing makeup tutorials and everything, but I do plan on incorporating YouTube into the Friends in Beauty umbrella, just to have a channel that like provides business tips or anything that people could use in the beauty industry, but not traditional like, okay, I'm going to show you how to do your makeup today. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
For someone who works in the beauty industry, how do you network and connect with models or photographers for projects?
I love networking. That's why I started the Friends in Beauty events. Networking has been one of those things that has really pushed me further than anything. Like most of the big jobs that I've gotten, well, all of the big jobs I have gotten as a makeup artist have literally come from me networking, going to events, meeting people, building relationships with them, having photo shoots with people, maintaining those relationships with them. So a lot of my networking comes from just going to events. Like before COVID, I would be back and forth on the bus going to New York. If I saw something that was going on in another state, I wouldn't be afraid to just step out there and go. And I was in New York so much at one point, people thought I lived there, and they didn't know I was going back and forth on the bus. So that was even more impressive. But that's mainly how I network, just going to events or just meeting people on shoots most of the time and just maintaining those relationships, because you make a good impression. They might want to use you for themselves one day. They recommend you to their friends and family. You might want to use them again for a shoot. So just trying to maintain those relationships and everything. That's how I mostly meet people.
So do you keep like a portfolio of your work when you go to these events?
What, you mean physically with me?
Yeah,
Yes, like how do you promote yourself?
Oh, I just follow me on Instagram. Everything is there. I don't carry around a physical portfolio, but my work can be seen on my website, my Instagram, and I feel like social media, it has helped with that aspect. I'm sure people used to carry around physical portfolios back in the day, and business cards too. Like I got like a love-hate thing for business cards, because I feel like social media is so accessible nowadays that it's like, why waste paper?
Yeah.
Like just go to my social media and check it out.
What is the most important thing to you as a makeup artist? Like, what do you focus on accomplishing when it comes to enhancing or complementing someone's features?
Yeah, my most important thing is to really listen to what the person wants. If they say they want to look natural, let them look natural. I like to focus on just a natural enhancement of what the person already has. I'm not necessarily looking to change any features drastically to make them look like a totally different person. My aesthetic is really just like a natural elevation, like natural glam. So you still look a little, jazzy, but you'll still look like yourself. So my most important thing is like really focusing on the skin, the foundation, making sure that's like perfected to, the best of its ability, and then playing around with, anything else that comes with it. Because as a makeup artist, I always tell people, if the foundation isn't right, then it doesn't matter what you do with the eyes. It doesn't matter what color lipstick you have on. All people are going to see is that your foundation is terrible.
Yeah.
Focus on perfecting that, making that look good, and then everything else is like an accessory to me.
I've like loved your work, just viewing what you've been doing for Fuse Carnival, and other things obviously on social media. But I'm like, I always get excited sitting in the chair, like waiting for my turn to come when you do makeup for Fuse Carnival. So it's been really amazing to watch, especially your growth as well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
What's your definition of success?
Ooh, success. My definition of success is really just being happy. Like being happy, being able to just live the type of life that you want to live. And that's going to be different for like everybody else. Like me personally, success is like if I can just travel without having to ask my boss for time off. Like that's success
Yeah.
to me, because I don't like answering to anybody. So just being able to live the life that fulfills you, it doesn't necessarily have to do with any monetary amount. To me, it's just like really living like a fulfilled life. That's success for me.
Nicely and simply put. As an educator, how do you approach instruction? And how do you encourage your students to persevere in a competitive industry?
How do I encourage? I'll say that again. Sorry. How do I approach instruction?
Mm-hmm.
In what way? I don't know.
So just like, for example, like, let's say you have your students in this space. Well, the beauty industry, to me, from my perspective of what I know of it to be, is slightly competitive industry. And you kind of have to, be consistent in what you're doing. So is there any like advice that you would give to our listeners that you've kind of given to your students as far as how to navigate the industry? Still being yourself, but just knowing that, somebody could say no to you, somebody can reject, your work, but it doesn't mean that you stop there.
Yeah, I literally just had a conversation with one of my past students last week about just being consistent, doing the best that you can be, not comparing yourself to other people, because I think that's like the biggest downfall that I see with a lot of makeup artists or just people in the beauty industry in general. Is like when you see somebody successful, of course you want to, find out what they're doing or how to approach it in a way that, you can follow along the same path, but they fall into the comparison thing, like, well, they did this, well, and I did this and it didn't work the same way. Just kind of realizing that your path is going to be different. That's why I always try to let them know, is like, it's really, I used to get so frustrated when I first started, and I used to ask people for advice and they couldn't give me a straight answer, like, how do I get, but it's really no straightforward answer or straightforward road to success in the beauty industry. It's kind of like everyone's situation is unique. So I just encourage my students to like be themselves, because even if you are a little quirky or you're not as outgoing as the next person, that's totally fine. You don't have to be anybody but yourself. Those people who are like you or enjoy somebody who's a little bit, introverted will find you. They will find you. So don't try to be like anybody else.
What is a high point in your career? Is there somebody you dream of working for or partner with that ended up happening?
A high point so far. I don't think I've worked with anybody yet that I'm like dying. I think my dream client would be like Lauryn Hill. that would just like throw the brushes and I'm done. Like if I could do Lauryn Hill's makeup, then I would be accomplished as a makeup artist. But I have had like pretty cool opportunities that I never really would have dreamed of, especially like really, really early on in my career, where people kind of feel like, well, I'm still new. I can't get certain opportunities. I had a chance. One of my like biggest opportunities that I feel like so far, I met a gentleman at my mentor's birthday party in New York, and he happened to be a producer for a Off Broadway play. And I just complimented him networking. I just thought he was cute, for real. I just thought he was cute. I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. Something kept pulling me to talk to him. And right before I left, I spoke to him. He let me know who he was. And I literally had just saw a like a documentary about the play on TV One, like the week prior. And I was like, that's interesting. And it was crazy that I met him But before I can get back to the bus, he was in my DMs and was saying that they were taking the show to San Francisco for a whole month, and they needed a makeup artist to come with them
Oh
if
my
I was
goodness.
interested. So I was like, okay, let me figure it out. And long story short, I got the job, but that was the first time that I was ever on the West Coast. I never had been to the West Coast. The first time that somebody paid for me to go to the West Coast, paid for my stay, and I got paid on top of that. And I was there for a whole month.
Mm.
So that opportunity, I was only, I think, 3 years into being a makeup artist. But certain things like that, a lot of people, they just don't feel like, okay, I don't have a lot of followers, so I'm not going to get an opportunity like that. Or I just don't have the skill set, or I'm still new. But it really just is about just putting yourself out there sometimes and just, going for it.
Wow.
How important is self-care and self-maintenance to you?
Oh my gosh. It's really important for me because, and not self-care in the sense of like, I'm going to get my nails done or I'm
Mm.
going to go pamper myself. But self-care for me is just like meditating and sitting in
Mm.
silence sometimes, because just dealing with so many people, as a makeup artist, you do pick up on people's energies,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So I just need time to decompress a lot of times. And I don't know if it's like my sign or just me as a person, but I'm in my head a lot. And sometimes when I have a lot of things going on, I can't really hear myself. So I do have to take time. That's self-care for me, is just taking time to really sit and figure out what I want to do, and hear like really, really clearly.
I'm just curious now. What is your sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, what keeps you grounded?
What keeps me grounding? Actually grounding. Going outside and putting my feet on the ground keeps me grounded. Being around people who genuinely love me and support me and want to see me win and keep me uplifted, definitely keeps me grounded. Just having good people around me too.
Yeah.
Um, what motivates you?
Whew, my goals motivate me. I'm definitely a visualizer. So a lot of times when I visualize something, I'm already at the finish line. I can see it like so clear in my head that it's like almost discouraging sometimes, because when I execute things and it doesn't come out like how I see it in my head, I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. But I've learned that what I've seen is like the end result. So that definitely keeps me motivated, because I've seen it so clearly that I know it's going to happen. So I just keep on going and going and going until eventually, I'll get it.
Name a song that could be a soundtrack to your life.
Oh my gosh. What song could be let me think. Hmm, I don't know. That's a good one. What could be a soundtrack? Probably the first song that popped in my head is like India Ari's Little Things.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
that's a
like that
beautiful
song.
song.
Um, what movie changed your life?
What movie changed my life? I watch a lot of movies, especially during quarantine time. I could barely keep up with what I watched. Um, I know y'all gonna edit this. What movie changed my life? This is funny. I don't know why I thought about Malcolm X. I thought about Malcolm X. Because I always tease people just the process that he went through to become Malcolm X, and then I always tease people and tell them I never had a perm, because with that scene where he had to dip his head in the toilet, his head was burning. I would say Malcolm X, but yeah.
It's a good movie, though. It's a really good movie. Tell us about your experience doing makeup for celebrities or artists. Did you have any experiences with that?
Yeah, I've had a chance to do people who people consider celebrities. I've always had good experiences though. More recently, I got to work with Ashley from the Real Housewives of Potomac,
Mm.
Hmm.
and that was fun. Being behind the scenes with her, just getting her ready for like those interview looks that they do. I've always had good experiences working with people who are celebrities though.
That's great.
They're just regular people, just regular people.
Is it? I know working with celebrities and production companies are fast paced? Is it like a hectic experience, or is it more laid back?
It could be like a little bit of both. They like to call it like hurry up and wait. So in the beginning, it does feel like you're just rushing, 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 and then there's a point where you're sitting around waiting for them to call the person to come, film and everything like that. It's definitely fast-paced, attention to detail, especially when you're working on film, because how it looks on camera is like how it looks in real life is how it's going to look on camera. So you have to pay a lot of attention to detail, but still be quick at the same time. So I like it. It's fun. Behind the scenes is really chill, depending on what production it is. Like when I did the Real Housewives of Potomac, they only have two of them there at one time. So
Mm.
it's not like you're mingling with a whole bunch of people. But I have had the chance to do like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and New York reunions where
Mm-hmm.
the cast is so large that they have like their different glam teams all over the place. And then at a certain point, we all are in like one room watching, the filming going on. So it just depends. You do get to mingle a little bit. They have nice food on set, which I appreciate. It's not pizza like how they normally order, on lower budget sets, but it's a good experience. I enjoy it a lot.
Wonderful. Well, it seems like, you're living in your purpose. And that's always such a beautiful and wonderful thing when people are able to do that. Because again, that becomes a definition of success, which is happiness for you. So I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Cool. Let's play a little game. We're going to throw a few words your way, and you just say whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. First word is Kim Kardashian.
Ray J.
Black love.
It's complicated.
Complicated. Generational wealth.
It's a must have.
Birthright.
I think about the concert. Birthright. I think about Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
I think about birthright. Yeah.
Self reflection.
Meditation.
Manifestation.
Putting in the work.
Last one. Just love.
I think about my mom. I say mom.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for being on this show. It's been
for
such a
having
pleasure
me.
to have you on, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to connect further.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Peace.